Hey, what's going on, guys? I wanted to share a couple things about the person, the concept of the Messiah, son of Joseph. Some things that I've been thinking about for about the past year, and I think it's pretty important. I need to write a note about this. But we know that the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, the Messiah, son of Joseph, is he descends from the left side, which is the side of Deen, the judgment, side of judgment, which is full of opposition, machloket, and we see this with the trunk, with the person who represents the whole concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, which is Joseph, the righteous, Joseph the tzaddik, son of Jacob, son of Yaakov. And we see that his life was surrounded with a lot of opposition, a lot of suffering, even from his own brothers, from his own family, from his own kin. And his brothers, including Yaakov, his father, were all great tzaddikim, all great righteous men. Okay, they're the shevet, they're the tribesmen. And even they couldn't see the greatness of Joseph. He was that concealed. But a lot of the sages explain how opposition can raise the status of a tzaddik as long as he maintains himself pure and righteous within the actual trial. And this is what Joseph, he's the paradigm of the tzaddik. And this is what Joseph did in his life. His brothers, they saw it differently. They opposed him. It's what's called one of the greatest uprisings of sinach chinam, of hatred without a cause. And so they hated him. They sold him to Egypt, where he suffered a whole lot. And there we know the story. We know how it goes. But what I wanted to share about the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, of Messiah, son of Joseph, is that this concept is a very concealed concept. Okay, you're not supposed to know that he's the Mashiach ben Yosef. Okay, no one knows this, but his life will show, through suffering, as long as he maintains himself righteous, is that he might be, within this soul concept. And so it is also explained by Chazal that the Messiah, son of Joseph, does not need to come from the tribe of Joseph. Okay, there's a few, I know for myself that there's a few great Mekubalim and rabbis who teach this. The Arizal, the Ramchal, and today Rabbi Mendel Kessin, who considers himself a disciple of the Ramchal's teachings, he teaches this, that Mashiach ben Yosef does not need to come from Yosef, from the tribe of Joseph, or from Ephraim. Okay, because these are soul concepts. They have to do with the neshama, with the soul. What's very interesting is that we know from the sages, they teach that in every generation there's a potential Messiah, or a Messiah, or the Messiah of that generation. Correct? And I can name you a few of these messiahs of their generations. For example, the Arizal was the Messiah, son of Joseph, of his generation. Rabbi Chaim Vital was also the Messiah, son of Joseph, of his generation. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov was Mashiach ben Yosef, of his generation. The Rebbe of Lubavitch was too. What's very interesting is that I think all four of these, and there's a lot of others, all four of these are all from the tribe of Judah. All four of these figures are really from the tribe of Judah. Mashiach ben David, on the other hand, Messiah, son of David, on the other hand, must come from the tribe of Judah. He must, because Mashiach ben David, who is the last Redeemer, he's the son of David. Okay? And the kings of Israel only come from Judah. Okay? So with that being said, there's something very interesting here in this connection between Mashiach, the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, and Yeshua, son of Joseph. His father's name was Joseph, son of Jacob. Okay? And Joseph was from the tribe of Judah. The Gospels make this clear. What's also interesting to keep in mind is that the Gospels in the New Testament, they do not force Jesus to be Messiah, son of Joseph. As a matter of fact, they believe that Jesus is the Messiah. They believe that he's Messiah, son of David, the king. Okay? But as it turns out, Yeshua gets wrapped up in great opposition. Okay? The leaders of the time get wrapped up in a great war and battle against him, and spiritual battle, and he's end up being sold off. He's sold to the Romans, where he is killed and dies a martyr's death. The entire concept of the Mashiach ben Yosef, as it is taught in all the sources, whichever source you can pick, is that the Messiah, son of Joseph, has the fate of a martyr. He would die a martyr's death, and his life will bring the chain of events to bring the ultimate redemption. It is taught that Mashiach ben Yosef is the throne of Mashiach ben David, and he will usher in the Messiah, son of David. Without the mission and the work of Messiah, son of Joseph, there is no Mashiach ben David. There is no final redemption. Okay? And so it's so interesting that the New Testament does not try to force him into this. But in the first century, there was a conception of a suffering Messiah, son of Joseph. It's in a few sources. There are like ancient Targumim that reach back, like maybe to like the first century, and they speak of a suffering Messiah, son of Joseph. The Talmud speaks of the Messiah, son of Joseph, and anything that's in the Talmud, even though it was codified after, it reaches back to at least the first century. There are a few other sources that, the Dead Sea Scrolls, etc. They speak of a suffering Messiah. So there was conceptions of Mashiach ben Yosef, right? Now, this is the reason for my video, is that most of the characters that are said to be the Messiah ben Yosefs of their generations, don't get me wrong, they had opposition. They had great machloket. The Arizal was opposed. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov suffered heavily, and he was opposed. But the thing is that they were all accepted within the tradition, the Mizorah of Israel, within their either their generation or the generation after that. They were accepted, right? But the main deal about Mashiach ben Yosef is that he will come up under the greatest machloket ever. And he would not be accepted. He would be rejected. And he would be rejected until the Mashiach ben Yosef himself reveals himself. And I don't know how that, it could come in different guises, in different forms. But he is supposed to be the most concealed of all the tzaddikim, the Mashiach ben Yosef, because yes, there